Some movies are so disturbing, so controversial, that entire countries try to erase them from existence. Tonight, we're diving into 4 horror films that shocked the world so badly they were banned, censored, or confiscated by government across the globe. From terrifying demonic possession, to brutal psychological violence, to films so realistic people thought the murders were real. These movies sparked outrage, panic, and fear unlike anything Hollywood had ever seen. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Directed by Tobe Hooper, this horror classic follows a group of young friends traveling across rural Texas who encounter a family of cannibals. The most infamous member of the family is Leatherface, a chainsaw-wielding killer who wears a mask made from human skin. Despite its reputation, the film actually contains surprisingly little visible gore. Much of the horror comes from screaming, chaotic editing, dirty visuals, psychological tension. Audiences in the 1970s believed the movie looked almost documentary-like. It felt raw, sweaty, and real. That realism helped turn it into one of the most influential horror movies ever made. Why it was banned. The movie was banned or heavily censored in several countries because authorities believed it was excessively sadistic and disturbing. Countries including United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia either restricted or banned the film at various times. Many governments feared the realistic violence, cannibalism themes, the sense of hopelessness, the psychological intensity. The movie became associated with video nasties era in Britain, where horror films were blamed for corrupting society and influencing crime. Ironically, compared to modern horror movies, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is relatively tame visually. But at the time, audiences had never experienced horror presented in such a gritty and realistic way. The film also benefited from clever marketing that implied it was based on true events. While inspired loosely by real murderer Ed Gein, the story itself was fictional. Today, the movie is considered a horror masterpiece and helped stage the slasher genre that later produced films like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. A Clockwork Orange. Directed by Stanley Kubrick and based on the novel by Anthony Burgess, A Clockwork Orange is a disturbing dystopian crime film set in a violent future society. The story follows Alec DeLarge, a charismatic but terrifying gang leader who spends his nights committing brutal crimes with his friends. Alex enjoys violence almost like an art form, listening to classical music while attacking victims. Eventually, he is arrested and becomes part of a government experiment designed to cure violent criminals through psychological conditioning. The treatment makes him physically sick whenever he thinks about violence. The movie explores free will, government control, moral corruption, violence in media, psychological manipulation. Although now it is a cinematic masterpiece, audiences in the 1970s were horrified by its violent content and sexual assault scenes. Why it was banned. The film caused enormous controversy in the United Kingdom. After release, several real-life violent crimes were linked by newspapers to the movie. In one case, attackers allegedly sang "Singin' in the Rain" during an assault, the same song used during one of the film's most disturbing scenes. Public outrage grew quickly. Protesters appeared outside Kubrick's home, and his family reportedly received threats. Eventually, Kubrick himself requested the film be withdrawn from British theaters. For decades, many people believed the movie had been officially banned in Britain. Technically, it was voluntarily removed from circulation by Kubrick and Warner Brothers, but the effect was basically the same. Most people in the UK did not legally see it for nearly 27 years. Other countries also censored or banned it due to sexual violence, psychological brutality, fear of copycat crimes. The film eventually returned to UK cinemas after Kubrick died in 1999. Today, A Clockwork Orange is studied in film schools worldwide and is often considered one of the greatest films ever made, but it still sparks debates about whether violent media can inspire real-world violence. The Exorcist. Directed by William Friedkin, The Exorcist tells the story of a young girl named Regan who becomes possessed by a demonic entity. As doctors fail to explain her disturbing behavior, her desperate mother turns to two Catholic priests who attempt an exorcism to save her soul. The movie shocked audiences with graphic demonic imagery, disturbing makeup effects, religious horror. At the time, many viewers had never seen anything so intense in mainstream cinema. Reports spread of audience members fainting, vomiting, and running out of theaters. Some cinemas even kept ambulances outside during screening because reactions became so intense. Why it was banned. Several countries restricted or banned the film because authorities believed it was psychologically dangerous or religiously offensive. In places with strong religious influence, officials feared the movie promoted demonic ideas or mocked Christianity. The film faced bans or several restrictions in countries including United Kingdom, Singapore, and Malaysia. In the UK, it became caught up in an infamous video nasties panic during the 1980s, where authorities targeted horror movies believed to corrupt society. Critics argued the film traumatized children. Religious imagery was too disturbing. It could influence vulnerable viewers. The possession scenes crossed moral boundaries. However, The Exorcist was also critically acclaimed. It became the first horror movie nominated for Best Picture of the Academy Awards. What makes this film historically important is that it transformed horror from a niche genre into a serious mainstream cinema. Many people still consider it one of the scariest movies ever made because the horror feels grounded and believable rather than exaggerated. Its bans only increased its legend. For years, people viewed it as a forbidden film that was too terrifying for normal audiences. Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust follows a rescue team traveling deep into the Amazon rainforest after a group of documentary filmmakers disappears. When the team recovers the missing crew's film reels, the movie shifts into a found footage style and reveals what happened to them. At first, the filmmakers seem like innocent victims, but as the recovered footage plays, viewers discover the documentary crew was cruel, manipulative, and violent towards the indigenous tribes they were filming. The movie becomes less about cannibals and more about how media exploits violence and entertainment. The film was extremely shocking for its time because it featured graphic gore, sexual violence, real animal killings, extremely realistic death scenes. The effects looked so convincing in 1980 that many people genuinely believed the actors had been murdered on camera. The controversy exploded almost immediately after release. Only days after premiering in Italy, authorities seized the film and arrested Deodato. Prosecutors accused him of creating a real snuff film. He actually had to bring actors into court to prove they were alive. The movie was banned or censored in numerous countries because of the graphic violence. Several countries including Australia, Norway, Finland, and New Zealand either banned it outright or forced major cuts. What made the film infamous was not just the gore, it was the realism. Deodato told actors to disappear from public life temporarily after filming to make rumors feel believable. That marketing trick backfired badly. Some even argued it predicted the rise of shock entertainment and violent reality media decades before social media existed. Still, even today, many horror fans refuse to watch it because of the real animal deaths. The movie remains one of the most controversial horror films ever made.